Good evening, everybody. Today we'll be discussing the Supreme Court case of Sean versus Reno. We start in the year 1990 in North Carolina, where it was found during the census that none of North Carolina's representatives were black, despite 20% of the state's population being African American at the time. During the reapportionment after the 1990 census, District Number 1 was drawn by the North Carolina General Assembly. This district was a majority African American, where upon review, the Justice Department requested another majority black district to be made. This voting district, known as District 12, was shaped almost like a snake, as it crossed multiple town borders and quickly drew lots of attention for its abnormal appearance. Said appearance made it very clear that it was an example of gerrymandering. I apologize. I'm very sick. Where a congressional district is drawn to favor one group over another. To be clear, there are multiple forms of gerrymandering. Most commonly, there is partisan gerrymandering, where districts are redrawn to favor one political party over another. However, in this case, we see racial gerrymandering, where districts are drawn to favor one racial group over another. In court, the plaintiff, Ruth Shaw, argued that the Equal Protection Clause was violated because the districts were drawn only with race in mind. To the defendant, Attorney General Reno, he argued that the Equal Protection Clause was not violated due to the original intent of helping black residents who had previously been subjected to racial discrimination. He believed that the Voting Rights Act required them to ensure minority representation. It was basically a back and forth of Shaw saying that this was unfair because they were favoring a race in redistricting, while Reno was saying that by redistributing the votes, it made it to where the races were more equivalently represented in voting. Now the question was, which idea of fairness was protected by the Constitution? The district court initially dismissed the challenge to North Carolina's bizarrely shaped 12th congressional district, ruling that the plaintiffs had stated the claim under the Equal Protection Clause by alleging that the proposed redistricting plan was so irrational that it could not be understood as anything other than an effort to separate citizens into different voting districts based on race. The appeals court upheld the district court's ruling that the plaintiff had stated a valid claim under the Equal Protection Clause. They agreed that the redistricting plan was so irrational it appeared to be an effort to separate citizens into different voting redistricts based on race. This led to the Supreme Court case Shaw versus Reno. In the 5-4 decision, they ruled that the unusual district could be challenged under the 14th Amendment equal protection, even without proof of vote dilution, because its shape suggested racial gerrymandering that separated voters by race, requiring strict scrutiny for justification. The court held that race-based redistricting plans, even for remedial purposes, must pass strict scrutiny, meaning they needed to compel the government interest and must be narrowly tailored. The decision stemmed from the court issue of the constitutionality of a district drawn with race as the predominant factor, even if the intent was to ensure minority representation. This case, in conclusion, shows us that because of the Equal Protection Clause in the 14th Amendment, it is unconstitutional to gerrymander, with the sole factor being race. And with that, I wish you all a good night. I know I will sleep very well as I'm sick. and I only have 2 hours before school starts. But yeah, I will, in the image that I will show an image of what the 12th district looked like to show kind of how uncanny it looked, because it was very obvious that this was gerrymandered, and it was very obvious that it was solely based on the Black communities in the area. But yeah, I hope you have a great night, and I will see you in class. Adios, muchacho.